Hi guys, just want to show you a technique for adding colour to your traditional mosaic crochet. This is a traditional mosaic piece, just using the two contrast colours to create all sorts of texture and design. I mean, just depending on where you place your front post, your front loop double crochet, you can make all sorts of different designs. Now lately we've been seeing a really influx of a technique called Tapestry mosaic crochet, which introduces a third color. So let's, for example, this is a sample piece, but let's say my main color is my green and the other one is purple. Then I've introduced a third color, pink. So I'm going to show you how to introduce that color right from the very beginning of the edge. You can see my tail is over here. Carry it through so that there's no little knots and joins happening in the middle of the piece, and then you carry it across. So there are three ways to do this. I'll show you all three and then you can choose which one suits you the best. Back soon. Okay, so the first way to do this is the easiest, most basic way. I just don't like it because the one of the threads is not secured, and I'll show you why it bothers me. So let's pretend for a minute that this is my base color, the light purple. This is my contrast color, color C, and this is now my tapestry color. So this is the third new color I want to introduce into a piece that would go into an otherwise two color piece. So slip knot on your hook for the contrast color. This is my tapestry colour. The easiest way is just to hold it in position, give yourself the same tail you've got for everything else, and then just begin working. And I start with a standing single crochet into my first stitch, according to the pattern that I'll be working, one there, and then a second one there. Now what I'm doing is working over this introduced colour, the third colour, and it's just sitting behind the stitches underneath, inside them. You can just see the little green poking out there. And then you just continue to work as per the pattern until you're told to swap over to the new tapestry colour. And I have a separate video on changing colours, but so you can go and look at that. But this is the first technique for adding the new colour. Why don't I like it? Well, for this reason. Watch. Pink, it's out. So if your yarn gets caught anywhere or you accidentally pull it, it will come out and then you have to start again. That's why I don't like that particular technique. So I'll set up and I'll show you a second technique. Okay, technique number 2, a little bit more fiddly but a little bit more secure. What we're going to do is incorporate one strand of this into the very first stitch, so it's actually a little bit anchored. It's not a knot, but it is a little bit more anchored, a bit more secure. So let's just grab both threads here. You begin with your contrast color as per the pattern in with a slip knot on your hook, but a loose knot. Don't over tighten that knot. We've got to come back through it. You go to your first stitch. Now I'm not going to work the first stitch here because it's a bit messy. I'll come over here and I'll just pretend it's over here into that first stitch, but instead of bringing through this pink loop, I'm going to bring through the green. Now you might want to just put your finger on that thread and hold it so it doesn't pull right the way through, and bring a loop through, and then bring back my pink and finish off my stitch first through the green and then through that slip knot. Like that. Now look, it's pulled up. I know it's okay because it is loose. You can tighten it up from the bottom like this, and it's actually quite hard to pull it. It should be a bit tight as you pull it through, and then you just continue working over the tapestry thread and follow your pattern instructions. So I have another video on how to work over this thread. Keep it down low so it doesn't bleed through too much, and you follow your design, your pattern. Now there is a bit of colour here peeking through from the tapestry colour. It doesn't matter, but as long as you don't, because like you can yank this and it will come out if you really yank it, but it would take a lot of effort to pull this out. Otherwise it's kind of secure, it's held in place until you need to finish your border. Don't over tighten these extra colours as you're going underneath, as you're working through, because then it'll just pucker your work. But there it is. This end is loose, but the rest of it isn't. I could pull that out if I really wanted to, but it's kind of sitting there quite snugly in there. Now yes, it shows a bit, but it's on the edge. The edge would be over here, at which point, you know, at some point you're going to tidy up that edge and it'll just disappear. So that's method number 2. Now I have a third method which I don't know whether I invented it or whatever, because I've never seen it before, but I did it because of my hands, and holding all this stuff is a bit fiddly for me. So I've come up with a third way. I'll show it to you next. Okay. Okay, method number 3 is something I've never seen written up. I've never seen a video, but then I haven't seen all of them on the planet, so I don't know if anybody's done this before, but I do it because it's easier for me, and I start with both threads in my slip knot. So I'll show you how to do that now. So the first thing I do is I begin my slip knot. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I do it with a twist. I start with a twist, and then I'll grab, now you can pull both through, you certainly can, just like you do in a different kind of slip knot. Other slip knots just straight away make a loop, but because if I use this twist method, I can now pick which thread I pull through that twist to make the slip knot. And I pick the thread that I'm going to work with right now, and then I tighten my slip knot, and I've got both of my threads secured, but only one of them on the hook, okay? And then I'm going to begin working. Now I'll move away from the edge so you can actually see me clearly what I'm doing. But I'm going to work with the pink, and I'm going to work over the green. So all you've got to do now is just insert your hook where you need to go. There's my green. It's going to get covered up. I'll pull my pink through for my first stitch, and all I've got is pink all the way on my hook. And there it is. Now this is, you can just, there you go. Just pulled it a little bit and it just tightened up because it was just a bit slack, but that's no big deal. But it's not going to come loose again. That's the issue. The issue with technique 2 was that it could possibly come loose along the edge. It wouldn't come out, but it might have to pull it down a few times every time you came back around, just for those first couple of rows. But for me, this is now secure. It's not going anywhere. It's still got a bit of a bleed through there, but it's no biggie. No biggie at all. You just keep working and doing whatever your pattern tells you to do, and change colour when you're told to change colour. And I just like this way because it just works better for me. I just have more comfort when I work this way. Okay, that's technique 3.